All right. Just give me 1 sec. Just a second, guys. Just trying to make sure stream's working. Not getting any feedback yet. Ah. No, that's not it. Huh. Wonder if it's transmitting. Yep. Shows it a going. Ah, here we go. I don't know what type of feedback we got right now, but we're gonna make it work. Alright. Push this over here. Alright, we're gonna go over all the executive orders that are going on right now. And if it's not completely obvious what they do, then we'll just we'll start reading into them until we find out what we're going for here. And even if they aren't, then we still might read into it. Alrighty. Here we go. Relative number 1. Initial recession of harmful executive orders and actions. Okay. That sounds pretty self-explanatory. By the authority vested in me as President by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered as follows. Section 1, Purpose and Policy. The previous administration has embedded deeply unpopular, inflationary, illegal, and radical practices within every agency of office, the federal government. Yada yada. The injection of diversity, equity, and inclusion into our institutions has corrupted them by replacing hard work, merit, and equality with a divisive and dangerous preferential hierarchy. Orders to open the borders have endangered the American people and dissolved federal, state, and local resources that should be used to benefit the American people. Climate extremism has exploded inflation and overburdened businesses with regulation. To commence the policies that will make our nation united, fair, safe, and prosperous again, it is the policy of the United States to restore common sense to the federal government and unleash the potential of the American citizen. The revocations within this order will be the first of many steps the United States federal government will take to repair our institutions and our economy. Revocations of orders, actions. The following executive actions are hereby revoked. Yep. The advancing racial equity support, ensuring lawful and accurate enumeration and apportionment pursuant to the decennial census, organizing mobilization. Okay, yeah, basically all the DEI shit's getting revoked. That's good. I'm happy about that. That's great. Alright. Restoring freedom of speech and ending federal censorship. Oh. Yeah, sorry guys, my nose is killing me. By the authority vested in me as President The Constitution is hereby ordered as follows. Section 1, Purpose. The First Amendment of the United States Constitution, an amendment essential to the success of our republic, enshrines the right of the American people to speak freely in the public square without government interference. Over the last 4 years, the previous administration trampled free speech rights by censoring American speech on online platforms, often by exerting substantial coercive pressures on third parties, such as social media companies, to moderate, deplatform, or otherwise suppress speech that the federal government did not approve, under the guise of combating misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. The federal government infringed on the constitutionally protected speech rights of American citizens across the United States in a manner that advanced the government's preferred narrative about significant matters of public debate. Government censorship of speech is intolerable in a free society. Yeah, we all knew this was going on. Surprised they didn't get sued into oblivion. Number 3, ending the weaponization of the federal government. Alright, I believe we all know what this one is, but we'll go over it anyways. Section 1, Purpose. The American people have witnessed the previous administration engage in systematic campaign against its perceived political opponents, weaponizing the legal force of numerous federal law enforcement agencies and the intelligence community against those perceived political opponents in the form of investigations, prosecutions, civil enforcement actions, and other related actions. These actions appear oriented more toward inflicting political pain than toward pursuing actual justice or legitimate governmental objectives. Many of these activities appear to be inconsistent with the Constitution and or the laws of the United States, including those activities directed at parents protesting at school board meetings, Americans who spoke out against the previous administration's actions, and other exercising constitutionally protected rights. Get a drink real quick. The prior administration and allies throughout the country engaged in unprecedented Third World weaponization of prosecutorial power to upend the democratic process. It targeted individuals who voiced opposition to the prior administration's policies with numerous federal investigations and politically motivated funding revocations, which cost Americans access to needed services. The Department of Justice even jailed an individual for posting a political meme. And while the Department of Justice has ruthlessly prosecuted more than 1,500 individuals associated with January 6th and simultaneously dropped nearly all cases against BLM writers, therefore, this order sets forth a process to ensure accountability for the previous administration's weaponization of the federal government against the American people. Section 2. It is the policy of the United States to identify and take appropriate action to correct past misconduct by the federal government related to the weaponization of law enforcement and the weaponization of the intelligence community. Yeah, right, Section 3. The Attorney General, in consultation with heads of all departments and agencies of the United States, shall take appropriate action to review the activities of all departments and agencies exercising civil or criminal authority. Okay, yeah, basically trying to get accountability for everyone who weaponized the federal government. That's nice. That's good. That's wholesome. Putting America first in international environmental agreements. I mean, preferably we wouldn't take part in those environmental agreements. The United States must grow its economy. Oh, okay, this is a short one. Must maintain jobs of its citizens while playing a leadership role in global efforts to protect the environment. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's about what I thought it would be. Alright. Application of Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary-Controlled Applications Act to TikTok. Yeah, basically this just banned TikTok straight away. So many people are freaking out about that. Withdrawing the United States from the World Health Organization. Well, yeah, that one's obvious too. Restoring accountability to policy influencing positions within the United States federal workforce. Article 2. Article 2 of the United States Constitution vests the President with the sole and exclusive authority over the executive branch, including the authority to manage the federal workforce to ensure effective executions of federal law. A critical aspect of this executive function is the responsibility to maintain professionalism and accountability within the civil service. This accountability is sorely lacking today. Only 41% of civil services supervisors are confident that they can remove an employee who engage in insubordination or serious misconduct. Even fewer supervisors, 26%, are confident that they can remove an employee for poor performance. Oh, uh-oh. We're gonna start holding government workers accountable. Oh shit. Accountability is essential for all of federal employees, but is especially important for those who are in policy influencing positions. These personnel are entrusted to shape and implement actions that have significant impact on all Americans. Any power that they have is delegated by the President, and they must be accountable to the President, who is the only member of the executive branch, other than the Vice President, elected and directly accountable to the American people. In recent years, however, there have been numerous and well-documented cases of career federal employees resisting and undermining the policies and directives of their executive leadership. Principles of good administration, therefore, necessitate action to restore accountability to the career civil service, beginning with positions of a confidential policy determining, policy making, or policy advocating character. Yeah, basically. Now you can fire government employees for being shitheads who are influencing policy. Let's see. Holding former government officials accountable for election interference and improper disclosure of sensitive government information. This one's interesting. Oh, whoops. This one is interesting. I like the sound of this one. In the closing weeks of the 2020 presidential campaign, at least 51 former intelligence officials coordinated with the Biden campaign to issue a letter discrediting the reporting that President Joseph R. Biden's son had abandoned his laptop at a computer repair business. Signatories of the letter falsely suggested that the news story was part of a Russian disinformation campaign. Before being issued, the letter was sent to the CIA Pre-Publication Classification Review Board, the body typically assigned to formally evaluate the sensitive nature of documents prior to publication. Senior CIA officials were made aware of the contents of the letter, and multiple signatories held clearances at the time and maintained ongoing contractual relationships with the CIA. Federal policymakers must be able to rely on analysis conducted by the intelligence community and be confident that it is accurate, crafted with professionalism, and free from politically motivated engineering to affect political outcomes in the United States. The signatories willfully weaponized the gravitas of the intelligence community to manipulate the political process and undermine our democratic institutions. This fabrication of the imprimatur of the intelligence community to suppress information essential to the American people during a presidential election is an egregious breach of trust reminiscent of a third world country. And now the faith of Americans and all other patriotic intelligence professionals who are sworn to protect the nation has been imperiled. National security is also damaged by the publication of classified information. Former National Security Advisor John R. Bolton published a memoir for monetary gain after he was terminated from the White House from his White House position in 2019. The book was rife with sensitive information drawn from his time in the government. The memoir's reckless treatment of sensitive information undermined the ability of future presidents to request and obtain candid advice on matters of national security from their staff. Publication also created a grave risk that classified materials was publicly exposed. To remedy these abuses of the public trust, the order directs the revocation of any active or current security clearances held by the former intelligence officials who engaged in misleading and inappropriate political coordination with the 2020 Biden presidential campaign. And John R. Bolton. Because fuck him. Yeah, I like this one. I like this one a lot. This one's nice. Alright. Clarifying the military's role in protecting the territorial integrity of the United States. I believe this just reassigns the military to protect the border. The United States have solemn responsibility to protect the armed forces of the United States have played a long well established in securing the borders against threats of invasion, against unlawful forays, and tranquility, peaceful these threats. But the armed forces are is the policy of the United States armed forces of the United States prioritize protection of the sovereignty of territorial integrity of the United States along our national borders. Yep, knew it. Alrighty. Unleashing America Energy. America is blessed with an abundance of energy and natural resources that have historically powered our nation's economic prosperity. In recent years, burdensome ideological motivated regulations have impeded the development of these resources, limited the generation of reliable and affordable electricity, reduced job creation, and inflicted high energy costs upon our citizens. These high energy costs devastate American consumers by driving up the cost of transportation, heating, utilities, farming, and manufacturing while weakening our national security. It is thus in the national interest to unleash America's affordable and reliable energy and natural resources. Policy. Is the policy of the United States to encourage energy exploration and production? Okay, yeah. Basically, all the silly red tape people, the politicians have been putting up for, just ways to get energy and whatnot. Doesn't really interest me too much, but I am happy for it. Realigning the United States refugee admissions program. I think this is our whole we need to take a break from all the foreigners sort of thing. For the last 4 years, inundated with record levels of migration, including through the U.S. refugee admissions program, cities and small towns alike, from Charleroi, Pennsylvania, and Springfield, Ohio, to Whitewater, Wisconsin, have seen significant influxes of migrants. Even major urban centers, such as New York City, Chicago, and Denver, have sought federal aid to manage the burden of new arrivals. Some jurisdictions, like New York and Massachusetts, have even recently declared states of emergency because of increased migration. Alright, policy. It is the policy of the United States to ensure that public safety and national security are paramount considerations in the administration of the USRAP, and to admit only those refugees who can fully appropriately assimilate into the United States, and to ensure that the United States preserves taxpayer resources for its citizens. It is also the policy of the United States that, to the extent permitted by law and as practicable, state and local jurisdictions to be granted a role in the process of determining the placement or settlement in the jurisdiction of aliens eligible to be admitted to the United States as refugees. Okay. Yep. Refugee. Protecting the meaning and value of American citizenship. I think that was pretty obvious. Just don't willy-nilly give everyone American citizenship. Yeah, we got that. Securing our border. Yeah, we know what that means. Restoring the death penalty and protecting public safety. Thank God. Capital punishment is an essential tool for deterring and punishing those who would commit the most heinous crimes and acts of lethal violence against American citizens, before, during, and after the founding of our United States. Our cities, states, and country have continuously relied upon capital punishment as the ultimate deterrent, and only proper punishment for the vilest crimes. Our founders knew well that that only capital punishment can bring justice and order in response to such evil. For this and other reasons, capital punishment continues to enjoy broad popular support. Damn right. Yeah. Basically, yet for too long, politicians and judges who oppose capital punishment have defied and subverted the laws of our country at every turn. They seek to thwart the execution of lawfully imposed capital sentences and choose to enforce their personal beliefs rather than law. When President Biden took office in 2021, he allowed his Department of Justice to issue a moratorium on federal executions. In defiance of his duty to faithfully execute the law of the United States that provide for capital punishment, and on December 23, 2024, President Biden commuted the sentences of 37 of the 40 most vile and sadistic rapists, child molesters, and murderers on federal death row. Remorseless criminals who brutalized young children, strangled and drowned their victims, and hunted strangers for sport. He commuted their sentences even though the laws of our nation have always protected victims by applying capital punishment to barbaric acts like theirs. Judges who oppose capital punishment have likewise disregarded the law by falsely claiming that capital punishment is unconstitutional, even though the Constitution explicitly acknowledges the legality of capital punishment. Yeah, basically, reinstituting the death penalty for child molesters. Why are the Democrats against that? Why are they against that? What could they be telling us? Declaring a national an energy emergency? I know our oil reserves are pretty tapped. I'm gonna assume that that's basically what we're about here. That, among other things. But that seems pretty self-explanatory. Reevaluating and realigning United States foreign aid. The United States foreign aid industry and bureaucracy are not aligned with American interests and, in many cases, antithetical to American values. They serve to destabilize world peace by promoting ideas in foreign countries that are directly inverse to harmonious and stable relations internal to and among countries. It is policy of the United States that no further United States foreign assistance shall be dispersed in a manner that is not fully aligned with the foreign policy of the President of the United States. Hey, Rain. Ah. Alrighty. Protecting the American people against invasion. Well, yeah, I think that's more illegal immigrant protections for the citizens. Protect them against illegals. Unleashing Alaska's extraordinary resource potential. That's interesting. Interesting. Let's see. Well, I'm pretty sure that's just trying to get more resources from Alaska. Protecting the United States from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats. Okay. Seems pretty obvious. Oh, yeah, that's probably a pipeline. This is probably something for a pipeline or something. America First Policy Directive to the Secretary of State. What? Give me 1 second. Right. My nose. By the authority. From this day forward, the foreign policy of the United States shall champion core American interests and always put America and American citizens first. As soon as I made some really good pulled pork the other day. I did not make any really good pulled pork the other day. As soon as practicable, the Secretary of State shall issue guidance, bringing the Department of State's policies, program, personnel, and operations in line with the American First foreign policy. Okay, yeah. I did, however, have a pretty mean Tostino's pizza. Not to brag. Establishing and implementing the President's Department of Government Efficiency. Oh yeah, we all know the Doge Department. Everyone has heard about the Doge Department by now. Shit's fire. Defending women from gender ideology extremism and restoring biological truth to the federal government. Oh yeah. That's some good news, brother. Thank fucking God. I'm getting the whole gender bullshit. That was so annoying. I'm just glad it's over now. Let's just put it like that. Ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing. Reforming the federal hiring process and restoring merit to government service. designating cartels and other organizations as foreign terrorist organizations and specially designated global terrorists. Restoring names that honor American greatness. I'd like to hear more about this, please. There it is. Let's restore some names to American greatness, homies. Let me just get a drink real quick. It is in the national interest to promote the extraordinary heritage of our nation and ensure future generations of American citizens celebrate the legacy of American heroes. The naming of our national treasures, including breathtaking natural wonders. Oh, okay. Yeah, like you can't have the USS George Floyd or anything like that. Which, I mean, yeah. Within 7 days of this order, appointed shall review their respective appointees. Oh, so glad they were named the Gulf to the Gulf of America. Fucking A. Nice. Ending illegal discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunity. So you can't be not hired for being white or anything like that. Designation of Ansar Allah as a foreign terrorist organization. I've not heard of this organization, but I'll take Trump's word for it. Strengthening American leadership in digital financial technology. Digital financial technology. All right, let's look into it. Explain it to me, Trump. Tell me about it. The digital asset industry plays a crucial role in innovation and economic development in the United States, as well as our nation's international leadership. It is therefore the policy of my administration to support the responsible growth and use of digital assets, blockchain technology, and related technologies across all sectors of the economy, including by protecting and promoting the ability of individual citizens and private sector entities alike to access and use for lawful purposes open public blockchain networks without persecution, including the ability to develop and deploy software to participate in mining and validating, to transact with other persons without unlawful censorship, and to maintain self-custody of digital assets. Promoting and protecting the sovereignty of the United States dollar, including through actions to promote the development and growth of lawful and legitimate dollar-backed stablecoins worldwide. Protecting and promoting fair and open access to banking services for all law-abiding individual citizens and private sector entities alike. Yeah, pretty much exactly as it sounds, I suppose. I didn't expect to see him mentioning blockchain, though. Declassification of the records concerning the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Ooh, boy. Damn. President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. That was pretty obvious. Removing barriers to American leadership in artificial intelligence. Are there like serious... I thought there was necessary red tape on that type of shit. Really hope you know what you're doing, Trump. On this one. The United States has long been at the forefront of artificial intelligence innovation driven by the strength of our free markets, world-class research institutions, and entrepreneurial spirit. To maintain this leadership, we must develop AI systems that are free from ideological bias or engineered social agendas. With the right government policies, we can solidify our position as the global leader in AI and secure a brighter future for all Americans. This order revokes certain existing AI policies and directives that act as barriers to American AI innovation, clearing a path for the United States to act decisively to retain global leadership in artificial intelligence. Okay. Almost done, guys. One more, I think. Yeah. Enforcing the Hyde Amendment. I forget. Which one is that? The Hyde Amendment. It sounds so familiar to me. For nearly 5 decades, the Congress has annually enacted the Hyde Amendment and similar laws to prevent federal funding of elective abortion. Oh, okay, yeah. You can't get taxpayer money for killing your baby. Seems reasonable. Well, I can say with confidence I'm overwhelmingly happy with these executive orders for the most part. Anyway, I guess that's it for me today. I appreciate y'all stopping by and taking the time to listen. I hope y'all have a very God blessed 2025.